Hi, and welcome to this next question, part C for 3 Blueprint Design and Delivery in the MSP review of the Practitioner Practice paper. And as you note, first of all, we have the typical assertion reason type grid, so that's the start of the question. We have 6 marks, so we have 6 rows to go through, and the bold information, as we would expect now in an assertion reason, reads it using the scenario and the additional information. So let's go and have a look at what that additional information looks like. In this case, it's in the form of a document, right? And it's an extract from the blueprint. So what we're going to be obviously doing, if you notice, is to look at and confirm that this information in here is correct, right? By that means it's in the correct heading and hopefully in the right document. Now it says true statement, so we can't edit what is there already. However, we can move it around in the document or remove it altogether, or even add something if that's required. So we're going to be looking at this document. Now remember, the best thing to do is just check this through before you go and look at the statements and see whether this information is in the right place or not, or in the right document for that part. And again, it's looking at the POTI, process, organization, technology, and information. So once again, it's a good idea to turn to the chapter on blueprint design and delivery and look at that section which looks at the design and the future state and has the POTI descriptions above it. So let's go back at the questions. We're going to have to do a bit of hopping around here, so bear with me as we do this. So remember, the assertions are all about the scenario that we've just looked at in this case, and the project and the additional information. So basically, it's saying no change to all those statements. It's at number 3. So rather than keep popping back, we'll go and have a look and see whether we should be changing the information, all those 3 as we go through. Only number 3 says delete entry 3. So each row is looking at that specific information. So let's go and have a look at the scenario right now and see how we get on. So, firstly, the processes. Most courses are non-residential. Is that something you expect to see in the process? Word is looking at the operating model, and that is part of the non-operating model, so that would be described part of the model we expect to see. So that's a correct statement, so that's true. 2, the organisation structure here, in this case, is looking at the program structure. This is not what we expect to see. This is nothing to do with the blueprint. What we expect to see in the blueprint will be organisation after the solution is being delivered, the transformation change is being made from the program. But that's not, this is how we're going to run the program, so this is not true. So that does not stay there. So the question is false, which it says no change. We know that it has to change, so that's false. 3. Now it said for number 3, delete that line. Now we're looking at technology. So each centre is connected to the main IT network. Well, we do not delete that because this is very much part of the technology section, and should be because it describes any technology systems that need to be in place, including IT systems. So that is a false statement as well. That should stay. Number 4. The Southdale Centre is to be sold, replaced by a regional centre. Well, this has got absolutely nothing to do with the technology side of things, right? This is more about what we're doing to deliver the solution, but not the overall technology solution as we see it at the end state. So that statement is also false. That line needs to go. As the question says, delete, no change. And number 5 says no change as well. And this is a interesting statement. Centre might not be sold for the expected price. So this is actually a risk and should be in the risk register, not in this document. So once again, when it said no change in the assertion, that is a false statement because it does need to change. In fact, it's in the wrong place altogether. Finally, no change to staff training records as required for ongoing operations. Well, as the staff training records are needed, this information is part of how our operations are working afterwards, then that is a true statement. If we do not change that, because that does need to be there. All right, so only 1 and 6 in this case, the assertions are true. All the rest are false. Right, now, as the reason side of it is all about managing successful programs, application, let's have a look at those. We do not need the scenario for this point in time. So the first one, the process and business models can be expressed in a number of ways, including flow and process and the process diagrams. Well, absolutely well they can. So that's a true statement. The blueprint should describe the organization structure required to run the program. Well, actually, when we reviewed the assertion question about no change to the organization in that scenario information, we said that this is not to be there because the organizational structure for the program is not included in that. It's to do with the final state of the new business. So that's also a false statement. Well, that is a false statement also. Right. Number 3, new business processes should be described as part of the process section of the blueprint. Absolutely right. That is true. That's what that process section is for under the blueprint design. And number 4, the blueprint should describe equipment and buildings required for future state. Well, again, this is very true. Requirement of buildings come under the technology side of the blueprint in the POTI definition, and therefore that is a true statement. Number 5, the information section should include any information required to operate it. Well, that is very true too. Look at the book, it says just that. Reading from the book, information and data required for the future business operations and performance measurements. So that is a true statement. And finally, data required for ongoing operations after the program is finished should be described in the blueprint. Absolutely right. This is very true. That's what it should be. So that we in the operation side of things once again. So let's have a look. We have trues for all the reasons except number 2. So number 2, both statements are false, therefore it will be F. 3, false true, so that would be D. 4 is false true, so that would be D. And same for 5. And therefore 1 and 6 are both true, so we'll go through those now. So the fact that the processes and business models can be expressed in other ways, including flow and processes, does that support the fact we don't change entry 1, which is looking at how the model will work afterwards for online courses? Well, they're not related at all in that respect, and therefore the answer there is B. Finally, look at number 6, data required for ongoing operations afterwards. And we look at that, which about staff training records. For here, we said that was true. Staff training records will be needed for the future state to monitor performance and how the training function is working and how staff are gaining from the new revised training layout. So the answer there is A, because the reason that directly supports the assertion. So once again, we've been through that system. So remember, assertions, read them through statement at a time, decide one each independently, and then forget about those for the moment and go through the reasons, purely MSP, each one independently again, true or false, and only marry them up from a point of view, does the reason support the assertion when both are true? The others also are supported by either C, D, or E, depending on the combination with false, true, etc. Hopefully that's helped you understand a lot more about the blueprint and the POTI in this case. And of course, if you still have any concerns, read through that chapter again to help you, or seek further help and advice from a tutor through the platform. Thank you.